Qu'est-ce que tu aimerais que les gens sachent sur l'Écosse?
Internationally, it annoys me when people in Scotland are referred to as British. A lot of Scots are even referred to abroad as English, which is even more insulting.
I would say Scotland is so much more than the independence referendum, and it's so much more than being a part of the union. My name is Annie Ferguson. I'm currently 25 years old and I would vote no on the independence referendum.
Smisha Iain academic, Hami 53 bliana gosh. Should there be another Scottish independence referendum, my vote will be a resounding yes in favour of it.
Bienvenue en Écosse. Avec ses collines, ses leurs et châteaux médiévaux qui semblent souvent sortis tout droit de Game of Thrones. Et comme dans la fameuse série, l'histoire de ce pays perché à l'extrême nord des îles britanniques est emplie de rivalités, de batailles sanglantes et de traités avec sa voisine au sud, l'Angleterre. Avec toujours une même question qui déchaîne les passions. Rester au sein du Royaume-Uni ou prendre son indépendance?
Scotland's future must be in Scotland's hands.
Au cours de la dernière décennie, un événement a complètement rebattu les cartes. Vous vous rappelez le Brexit en 2016 ? À l'époque, 62% des Écossais avaient voté contre. Cette sortie de l'Union européenne, un peu contre leur gré, a ainsi donné un nouveau souffle au mouvement séparatiste écossais. Aujourd'hui, le principal parti indépendantiste, le SNP, mène largement dans les sondages. Et à l'approche des élections parlementaires écossaises en mai, la question de l'indépendance reste plus clivante que jamais. Après tout, pour de nombreux Écossais, le sujet touche au plus profond de leur identité.
What it means to be Scottish? I would always say first and foremost that I'm a skianach, is what we call it in Skye. I'm a Skye man. And then a Gael, second of all, and then a Scot, then European, and then probably British at the...
Reluctantly.
Yeah, reluctantly British. My family are very strong independence supporters. So I've essentially had it drilled into me from when I was pretty young, and obviously when I started to have more of a mind of my own, I started to see how beneficial this could be to Scotland as a whole.
It's so much more than like a traditional political debate. It's your identity, your values, your culture, it's your way of being. I grew up in a household where they identified as British, not Scottish. I'm British, Scottish, European.
Dans l'histoire récente, jamais le fossé entre ces deux camps n'a été aussi flagrant qu'en 2014, lors du seul et unique référendum sur l'indépendance écossaise jamais organisé.
Le 18 septembre 2014, les Écossais se rendront aux urnes pour dire s'ils veulent être indépendants.
À l'époque, le pays avait choisi de rester au sein du Royaume-Uni, avec 55% des électeurs ayant voté contre l'indépendance.
Scotland has voted no. The result in Fife has taken the no campaign over the line, and the official result is a no.
I just remember, even at the age of 12, it's weird being so engaged with it, but I just remember the absolute crushing disappointment of the 19th of September, waking up and seeing what had happened, and it hadn't gone our way.
The school environment in my community, it was very, very much pro-independence. My brother was eligible to vote at the time, and he was the only one out of his friends that chose to remain within the union. My family had members who fought in the World Wars, and that really sort of solidified their Britishness. My mother is traditionally conservative, pro-monarch, pro-unionist, vehemently against an independent Scotland. She doesn't agree with Scotland having its own government, for example.
Ce qu'évoque Annie ici est un système de gouvernance unique au Royaume-Uni, aussi connu sous le nom de dévolution. Pour comprendre, remontons à l'an 1707. L'Écosse et l'Angleterre signent alors les actes d'union, fondant ainsi le royaume de Grande-Bretagne. Mais près de 300 ans plus tard, en 1997, les Écossais votent pour rétablir le Parlement écossais à Édimbourg. Aujourd'hui, ce Parlement décentralisé gère des domaines clés comme la santé, l'éducation ou encore la justice. En revanche, les pouvoirs dits souverains, comme la politique étrangère, la défense et l'immigration, restent du ressort exclusif du Parlement britannique à Westminster. Sur 660 sièges, les députés écossais en détiennent 57. Pour certains, cette décentralisation n'est pas suffisante.
I'm a boat trip skipper for tour boats in Portree.
L'île de Skye, dans les Highlands écossais, est l'une des régions les moins peuplées du Royaume-Uni. On y compte environ 12 000 habitants et à peu près 10 fois plus de moutons.
So we're heading up to the Isle of Rona today, and Rona is actually a privately owned island. There's one person that lives out in Rona full-time, year-round, which is gets quite lonely, I would say.
Ici, le gouvernement central de Londres, situé à près de 12 heures de route, paraît particulièrement distant.
It's one of the busiest tourist destinations in Scotland. We see almost nothing back in return for the revenue we raise. We have very poor infrastructure. The only way I see this happening, the only way I see improvements in local governments being made is through independence, because currently the devolved government just cannot sustain or support the adequate funding that's required.
Comme Iain, Annie aussi a grandi dans une des régions les plus isolées d'Écosse.
I'm from North Ayrshire at the west coast of Scotland. I'm a first generation uni student, so it means so much to my family that I'm actually in university. My school was very disadvantaged, and a very low percentage of people from my school enter a higher university. Just based on where you're from, you're already at such a disadvantage in terms of employment, in terms of health, in terms of opportunities.
Mais contrairement à Iain, Annie ne croit pas que l'indépendance soit la solution.
I'm very much, I would say, the outlier, the minority, if you look at youth and how they would vote. I don't believe that becoming an independent nation would be the answer to all of our problems. I think that is such a misconception. Yes, there are drawbacks to being a part of the union, but right now, in the state of the world, the advantages outweigh the negatives, and the logistics and the capacity that Scotland has to govern and govern effectively isn't quite there yet for me.
Les opposants à l'indépendance avancent notamment des arguments économiques. Avec ses réserves de pétrole et de gaz, son industrie de la pêche et, bien sûr, sa production de whisky, l'Écosse dispose d'une économie diversifiée. Les pro-indépendantistes ont d'ailleurs longtemps maintenu que son PIB par habitant serait comparable à celui d'autres pays développés, comme la Finlande ou la France. Mais le Royaume-Uni reste de loin le partenaire commercial principal de l'Écosse, absorbant 60% de ses exportations. Les pays de l'UE, quant à eux, ne représentent que 18%.
I always have rejected this argument that Scotland couldn't stand on its own. It might take some time to really reap the benefits of it, but I see absolutely no reason why we couldn't.
Bien sûr, pour Iain et beaucoup d'autres Écossais, la question de l'indépendance ne se résume pas à de simples performances économiques. Cela touche aussi à des considérations bien moins chiffrables, comme la culture, les valeurs, la religion parfois, et puis aussi la langue.
I grew up in a Gaelic-speaking family, running all the way back to my grandparents. When we were very young, we all spoke Gaelic pretty much exclusively in the house, and then obviously the older we got, we spoke a bit more English in the house as well. So it's still, even nowadays, about a 50-50 balance. For Gaelic speakers, I would say that we've been a very oppressed group of people in Scotland for quite a long time, even more so across the UK.
Le gaélique écossais fait partie de la famille des langues celtiques. Pendant des siècles, son usage était largement répandu en Écosse, en particulier dans les Highlands. Mais à partir de la moitié du XVIIIe siècle, la Grande-Bretagne commence à violemment réprimer la culture des Highlands en réponse aux révoltes qui secouent la région. Des symboles traditionnels comme le tartan et la cornemuse sont interdits. Et après plusieurs réformes éducatives, l'anglais devient de fait la seule langue autorisée dans les écoles. Résultat, à la fin du XIXe siècle, presque partout dans le pays, l'anglais devient la langue dominante. Aujourd'hui, seul 1% de la population parle gaélique. La plupart vivent sur l'archipel des Hébrides extérieures et l'île de Skye. Là-bas, près d'un tiers des habitants parlent gaélique.
There's certain ignorance and almost stigma attached to being a Gaelic speaker. You see comments on social media and they're very much like, oh, it's a dead language. Why are we giving money to something that no one speaks? But it's not true. I mean, if people come here, You can regularly go to the shops, go to the pub, and you'll have people speaking Gaelic to each other. And this kind of attitude and persecution is definitely a major reason of why we feel very strongly about independence. So I've been a Gaelic singer from pretty much knee height. My father is a Gaelic singer, and my brother and my sister are both Gaelic singers. So we've been always very involved in Scottish traditional music and in Gaelic singing.
And can we hear some of it? You knew we were going to ask.
Yeah, I was waiting for that. So this song is called Fáilte Donyilan Skianach, Welcome to the Isle of Skye. So I'll sing you a wee verse of it. O fáilte dostúchgan do chódachan útlí do bheann den an súbhór far an siúlacham meawn a túcham nan lúpan gúrlar nan gleawn.
Oh, that was so beautiful.
It costs so little to put Gaelic on a road sign, or Gaelic on an ambulance, or Gaelic on a police car. People make an argument that it puts them off the road when they see signs in Gaelic and in English.
Des panneaux bilingues au drapeau qu'on brandit, l'Écosse est truffée de ces symboles qui renvoient soit aux idées unionistes, soit aux aspirations séparatistes. Mais rien n'est plus révélateur que les couleurs qu'on arbore au moment du fameux derby de foot de Glasgow. Vert émeraude pour les Celtics, bleu roi pour les Rangers.
So Rangers and Celtic are two football clubs, but for the people of Scotland they're much, much more than that. They are your identity, they are your values, they are your beliefs. When you go to Rangers, they are traditionally more pro-unionism, pro-monarchy. And then on the other hand, you've got Celtic, pro-independence and anti-monarchy. On match days, for example, you would be advised not to walk down certain streets wearing certain colours. Obviously, if you were to go to a pub, you wouldn't have the pubs typically intermingling. You would go to a Rangers pub or you would go to a Celtic pub, and it would be distinct. When you've got these two teams, it doesn't just mean who do you support in terms of who do you support today for the game, Rangers and Celtic. Who do you support can then often mean who do you vote for? What identity do you have? What beliefs do you have? Are you pro or anti-unionism? Old Firms, as they're called, are some of the most rambunctious, famous days in Scotland.
Mais on le sait, la politique et le foot sont loin d'être des sciences exactes.
I support Rangers.
You do?
Which is kind of at odds with the whole
Very
political.
That's so surprising.
I support Rangers.
Okay.
Just not the politics. My family are all Celtic fans, which makes it even stranger. I try not to associate football too much with politics. Hard to get away from in Scotland.
My full family are very, very staunch Rangers supporters, and I feel like I never really fell into that bracket.
Annie ne partage pas les opinions de ses parents à bien des égards. Surtout, elle n'est pas une grande fan de la monarchie britannique.
So this is a letter from the Queen from when she was alive, and I wrote to her because I'd done a lot of fundraising when I was younger. So this was on my bedroom wall for at least 4 years, as I sort of started educating myself on the monarchy. And I would say that I am against the monarchy. I totally disagree with what it means and how it came into power and how they've retained power. So that's what these letters ended up representing to me, was the development of my own beliefs in a way.
Annie et ses parents sont aussi profondément en désaccord au sujet de l'Union européenne. Au moment du référendum sur le Brexit, sa mère et son père ont tous les deux voté pour quitter l'UE.
So I was 15 when it happened, and we felt such a sense of loss. This is where I did really relate with my youth, because we were devastated as a whole to leave the European Union. We understood that this could actually have really bad ramifications for Scotland, and unfortunately it did. All of that sort of disintegrated before our eyes, and it's never been replaced. There's a gaping hole at the heart of where the European Union should be within Scotland. And I felt a sense of sadness that my mother and father felt like that was the correct decision.
Scotland voted overwhelmingly to remain in the EU. Every single council area in Scotland voted to remain in the EU. So essentially we got taken out of the EU entirely against our will because of what other countries wanted to do, and that just seems grossly unfair. I mean, one of the pledges of the No campaign at the time of the Scottish independence referendum was that by voting no we were ensuring our European Union membership, and then 2 years later that membership was removed.
Iain n'est pas le seul à être amer à ce sujet. Pendant des décennies, le non à l'indépendance l'emportait systématiquement et largement dans les sondages. Mais les aspirations séparatistes se sont considérablement renforcées au moment du référendum sur le Brexit en 2016, pour finalement dépasser le seuil symbolique des 50% en 2020, année du retrait effectif du Royaume-Uni de l'UE. Depuis, le oui et le non à l'indépendance se trouvent au coude à coude. Selon les derniers sondages de février 2026, 51% des Écossais sont favorables à l'indépendance, contre 49% qui s'y opposent. Chez les 16-24 ans, le oui atteint les 59%.
I would 100% be keen to leave the Union if it meant rejoining the European Union, no questions asked. But again, you need to be pragmatic and realistic, and what currency would we have? What borders would we have with England? I mean, how could we legitimise leaving the stability that the Union provides us for no guarantees that we would be involved within the EU? We couldn't have this glorious Scotland and the Scotland that we pride ourselves on if we left the UK.
Plein de questions auxquelles les électeurs devront répondre au moment d'élire le prochain Parlement écossais ce 7 mai.
I will be voting Scottish Labour for the next general election, although that's not to say that I agree with the current Labour government in Westminster.
I will be voting, as I think I just about always have in elections, for the Scottish National Party. I still very firmly believe they are our best chance of gaining a peaceful route towards Scottish independence.
Le SNP estime qu'obtenir une majorité absolue au Parlement écossais lui donnerait le mandat démocratique nécessaire pour organiser un deuxième référendum sur l'indépendance. Mais en 2022, la Cour suprême britannique a statué que l'Écosse ne pourrait pas tenir de consultation sans le feu vert de Westminster. Pour l'instant, la question d'un nouveau référendum sur l'indépendance écossaise reste non plus qu'incertaine.
If the SNP were to gain a majority, I think it becomes almost impossible for the UK government to continue to object to this will of the Scottish people, essentially.